Hey guys, this is my first time showing my face. Hope you don't think it's too ugly. What a way to start it. I'm gonna be doing this a bit late, but I am doing a 8.5 tier list. I know Flats did it, I know Booger did it, I know everyone did it, but I want to get my personal opinion out as a Grandmaster player and put it out for like Diamond Grandmaster. Probably not Celestial, probably would be a bit different than this, but this is my personal opinion on it. I believe for some like different opinion because he's a one above all eternity. That's Flat's place. He's not putting a tier list if it was in Grandmaster and Diamond. If it's lower elo, then someone else has to do that because I'm not in gold, and that could be entirely different. Blade could be A tier in gold, but I don't know that. Right now, he's probably C tier in here. So I'm gonna be doing tier list from best to worst going down, and it will be separated by each role. So if you see when you see like Adam here, Loki here, and then like Jeff here, Adam's the best, Loki's middle, Jeff's worst. That type of thing. Okay, let's get started. Um, Adam, B tier. He has good burst heal, good he has good res. Especially you could get some good ult value on it. You have Soul Link, you have good burst. Overall, I think is the best triple support character right now. I think other than White Fox, but that's a different story. But I think if you wanted to choose triple support, I'd want his res. I think his res is actually insanely good. BP, C tier. There is a couple of good ones out there who are like you can't do anything about. Thing can't stop it, but it does hinder their progress. But it's not the best character in the game. I think at C tier you could do well, but your character is kind of cheeks. But you could still do well on it if you are really good at the character. Um, I think BP is one of them. I don't think he's completely trash. You could definitely make him work compared to some of the other heroes, like the next one, which is Widow. You could barely make him work. I think with the Mantis nerf, I don't think you could one shot people anymore because it went from a 12 to 8% damage boost, and then the flatline speed change with Mantis's E. But yeah, unless you have help from your teammates and you get like a dive in there, or you're diving Widow, or like you're a flanker Widow, then you're probably not gonna do much. Unless you just have constantly good aim, you're not doing anything with Widow. Captain America, I think in Grandmaster Diamond, I think he's A tier. There's not a lot of good Captain Americas that will like be Captain America. He could get CC'd a lot. He's a good stall agent if you are good at stalling with Captain America. He is a huge mosquito and a good third support ult, mini support ult. But other than that, I do not think he is actually the best. I think if I'm going dive, I think I have better options than him. Cloak, I think is A tier. I don't think she's S tier, but she's a bit close. Actually, no. I think there's better supports than her in A tier as well. But she has an 11-second ult. She has good burst healing with her bubble. Cloak has the window, which gives the blindness effect, which can make people deal more damage with him, and also not escape. For example, Loki with his TP, or White Fox with her TP, because they can't see other players and then go to them. Also, Thing with his jumping, they won't be able to see them, so that they can't reach them at all because of the blindness effect. Strange, I think he is middle. I think he's middle of the road tank. I think other than that, he's really good shield hero. He does decent damage. He has a good ult. The only thing bad is if your whole team dies and he's the only one alive on point and you need that TP out. That's the only bad part. But I think other than that, he is a decent hero to learn and pick up if you're gonna go fill in tank or go tank. that is a good hero to learn first before just going straight to Mag. Mag is a different story, which I will get to later. Groot, S tier. His immovable wall, invulnerability wall is really good. His E wall is really good. If you really bang it down, he'd still be really good. His damaging walls are also his walls that protect. His ult is still one of the best tanks and tank ults in the game. I think in general, Groot is just like overall one of the best or the best tank in the game. If I'm considering it otherwise, because he just hasn't been moved around. But he goes up and down places, but he could definitely work. He's definitely a great character. Hawkeye, right next to Widow. I think the only reason he's better is because of his ult and potential. But like he can one shot, but it is really hard to do. But I still think he can do it. But that is it, and also okay team up with Cloak and Dagger. But that's it. Hela, A tier. If since Phoenix is permaban, you need another one-shot hit scan. You have Hela, who has also the E, which is CC. You have a way to get out, which is the bird. You have the burst damage, which is the right click. Or just if you're really good at aiming, you don't need that. I think in general she's really good. Her ult is also really good. I think in general she is really good. Hulk, a little bit worse than Captain America, but you could definitely make him work really well if you're really good at him. You need to know his jumping mechanic, but other than that, if you know how his ult work, you know how his bubbles work, you know how his exile work, and you hit those and you actually do work, and your team also works with you, you could destroy it on Hulk, which I believe why he is up here. Iron Fist, B tier. He's like Captain America, but just a smaller mosquito. He's like baby mosquito. But if he gets CC'd compared to Captain America, he will probably die. Unless he has dragon defense, then he will not be going anywhere. He has his kick to get out, he has his jumps to get out, he has his E to heal up. He is going to be in there half the time because of the ways to get in and out. He is just a mosquito through and through. Iron Man, too bulky. His ult is too hard to pull off. He could die too constantly by using his ult. He is a flying target by other hit scan heroes who are all really, really, really good. So you can't do anything about that. And like your ult is just ass. If you do pull it off, good job. But it is insanely hard to pull off. You cannot do that with him. And also it's easily to be dodged. I went rocket and I just jumped dash 2 twice and then I was good. It did not matter. Jeff, right here. I think it's good. The bubbles are good. His healing's good. His damage is decent. His ult is okay. I think his ult could, if you're good with him, then his ult is good. Other than that, it's kind of. I think I would rather still have Adam as the main triple support line than a Jeff, but he is really good sustainability. He could help with the flanks. I think in general Jeff is actually pretty decent. He's just not one of the best right now. Loki. Loki. Runes are good. TP, Invis, he has ways to get out. He has ways to save himself. He has good healing. He gets his ult pretty quickly since he has a lot of healing. Yeah, that's really it. And he could pretend to be one of his clones maybe. He'll get away with it. It's pretty nice, pretty nice. Luna. One of the best supports in the game. Self Flake is really good. DPS Luna is really good. The freeze is insanely good. The clap is really good. Her ult is probably actually one of her worst parts of her kit, but since her primary got buffed, she is just one of the best again, which is pretty unfortunate. But it's fine. But she just kind of encourages triple support if you want to go DPS Luna. Magic! Your magic could be either really good or really bad. It's not really one way or the other. But she doesn't have such a high skill ceiling like Spider-Man, so you're probably more of the odds gonna get a good one than a bad one. You could also one-shot through a support ult, which is, if you know tech, that's part of the skill ceiling. That's why I believe Magic is up there more than Iron Fist and will be Spider-Man, which I'll actually put right here in this lineup because I believe Spider-Man is the worst out of these three. Mostly because of his really high skill ceiling, but it's a lot harder to be a good Spider-Man than a bad Spider-Man. But in Grandmaster, he's pretty decent most of the time. He's pretty good. The pull off the maps are good. His ult is good, but you can't. If his support ult goes down, then you can't really do anything about it. But if you know when to go in and out, then you could be really good with Spider-Man. Magneto. Bottom of A tier, if I'm being honest. I think his ult with the extra second is good, so you could get a actual kill with it, but you're probably less likely to get a support and an ult. At least if you get one, then rather than trying to go for the support with the ult that's getting blocked by Strange and has her own bubble or like hiding, if you're just looking for one person, that'll be better because at least it'll be a 5v6 and you might not, you have a better chance of not getting rolled if you don't have a support ult back. And you could survive throughout the support ult without having to use yours because there'll be a person down. And if your team's good, then you will survive. That's what I think at least. But definitely Hulk and Cap can do more than Mag. And you also have to be more consistent with all his abilities. When to use his bubbles, when to use his curtain, when to use his knockback, when to use his ult. That's why he's a lot harder. But he has a lot more, you get a lot more value from getting those right. That's why I think he's better than Strange. But I think if you're trying to pick up a shield hero, pick Strange. Because he has a easy shield to pick up instead of the bubbles, which you have to know when to use. It's like Adam, you have to know when to use your utility. Mantis. Middle. I think the damage boost is good. The healing is pretty decent. The support ult, I'd rather have an Adam res than her support ult, which is why I'm putting her right here. But I still think she's better than Jeff because of the healing and the damage boost and the speed and the ult. But I do think the res is better with the Soul Link and the burst healing, in my personal opinion. Moon Knight. I think it's better than these. He did get nerfed pretty badly. You can't get away with a lot of stuff. You would actually like really have to focus a person down with his onk to get like actual potential than just farming for their support ults. I can't do that. Someone like Quad probably could. I think he's a great Moon Knight player. But I am not, even though I have a Lord, I do not think I am a great Moon Knight player. So that's why I'll probably not be playing him anymore. I think it's actually better than Hela. He has good burst damage like her, except it's just a projectile. If you go better with projectiles, then he's the guy. He has an invincible shield, which is pretty good. He has the squids constantly, which is also good for anti-dive. And also he's always gonna have those squids up because of the buff he recently got, which I believe is also really good. That's why I think he's better than Hela. I don't think he's S tier though. Those two I'll get to eventually. Penny Bukuru. B tier. High B tier. Like nearly low S A tier. Not S. Low A tier, but high B tier. The fourth web is good. the bonus health that she could get is also good. It gives more sustain, and also with the fourth web, she could be more flexible in what to do. She also has that Dino Tech where he grabs somebody and he just brings it into her minds and they just explode. But you get to do a lot more stuff with that fourth web, which is really nice. I think. Psylocke. She had three playstyles, which was really good at poke, really good at dive, really good at alt merchant, and those were all points in time of like her being here. But she got nerfed on poke at one point, and then she got nerfed on her invisibility, and then she got nerfed on her alt like twice by the damage and by how long she gets it. So she just became kind of middle of everything. She didn't become. She's just kind of mid. You kind of poke, and then you kind of dive, and then you kind of hope for the best with her alt, but you can't get that so often. So you kind of gotta like look out for the support ults, then do it. Then you get like Freelo, but she's a lot harder to play, but she's still really manageable. Rocket, I believe, is the best support in the game, and for multiple reasons. Not just because of flat and all that. I tried him out. I played him myself. I play a support. I know how he feels like. He has a free beacon. He has insane heals, which beats triple support. He has insane damage. You could just rip somebody down with his minigun, and then with his ult, you get a support ult and a 40% damage boost, which will come very special later for other characters that I'm going to explain why he is helping with other characters and better than some. Gambit. Um, but overall, he's just insanely good. The only caveat is that his ult gets destroyed, but there's nobody insanely strong right now that could destroy his ult. There's I well, there's Phoenix but permaban, Cyclops but permaban, like nearly all the time. And most of the time, I don't think you're really looking at the raccoon ult. I think the only person that could really go through Rocket ult is Star Lord, but that if he mainly attacks one person at a time, or else you're not killing anybody through Rocket ult. Um, Scarlet Witch is probably the best person in these here. She has her ult, but it is really hard to pull off. But I think it's a lot easier than Iron Man's because he's just a sitting target. At least you move and you can come with your teammates and you're like near them. So then you could like make it so you could actually do something about it. And overall, she's an easy character, but like you don't see her in Grandmaster or Diamond at all. So she's just, but I feel like she is the best out of these three, out of these four. Squirrel Girl, low C tier, very low, but for multiple reasons. I think you get more value over ult than the rest of them. She got her mammal bond reduction, so you could get 2 CCs. She has pretty decent burst damage, and she has the jump. Now I know about the whole Warren thing with the whole tournament, and I get that. That's why she's low C tier. If in the right comp, then she could work. But clearly she didn't in that tournament. But I think she's decent. And if people don't know how to destroy the squirrels or deal with the squirrels, then you're gonna die to them. But I think you get more value than these four characters at least. But she is low. She's at the bottom of C tier. That is it. Star Lord up here, right here. They nerfed his his far range. He has the fall off, but he has two play styles, which is get close and spam his E attack so he gets his ult, or you play flanker Starlord, and both of them are going in close. So there's like nearly no point to that fall off at all. But I understand that it is a big nerf, but he is not playing by far. And it doesn't affect his ultimate, by the way. They said it in the thing. It does not affect his ult. But, okay. Storm. I think it's right here. Not better than BP, but I think right there. I think you can't, like, she needs a speed boost, but then she needs more damage. But then you go to damage, and then she needs more speed. And the only time that you'd really only use the speed is if you're going to point or you're going back from point. If you're running back or you're going forward. If you're doing, most of the time you want damage, so you boost your allies so you do more damage, and then also you have the free thunderbolts in the area, so then it's also free damage for you. I think overall, I think she might need a rebalance on like what her kit does. And also if she controls all the elements, I need to see other stuff. Like where's tsunamis? I want a tsunami. That sounds sick. That's kind of like the shark, the Jeff NATO, but still something like with her kit, something water. I don't know. It'd be cool and interesting. Punisher up here. Um, he has insane damage with his shotgun. He has really good damage with his primary, with his regular gun, which also could destroy Rocket Alt. His alt is also insanely good with Rocket Alt. One of them, by the way, also Star Lord. Um, and also he could destroy Rocket Alt just as easy. He has the smoke, he has the zip line to go in and out. The turret's pretty good. If nobody's looking at it, he just gets free ult charge and free damage, maybe a potential kill if you're careless. Other than that, it's really free low. It's really free low. Thor is sadly probably the worst tank. Anything that he really has, another person can do better. He probably has one of the worst tank ults in the game, because most of the time someone support ults, so then you don't do anything with it unless you're getting damage boosted. And when are you getting damage boosted as a Thor right about to go into an ult, unless you have a duo or a teammate that you called out to damage boost? And that's if they actually do it, or if they miss it, or if you're not calming enough and then they don't realize that you already ulted. Either way, his grabbing, they noticed that, but the one thing is you could push the tanks around, but that is the only thing you can do. It's just push the tanks. And the E with the grounded, but Winter Soldier does grounded better. Um but if you want grabbing or pushing somebody away to your team, Angela is just like 5 times better at that. She got buffed and she is a lot better than him. So yeah, you could have maybe double grab with the team up with Angela, but honestly, I think people forgot about that team up. I'm being so dead. Like, I forgot it existed for a second. I used the main Thor. I was so excited to see the team up, and it's like, but then I remembered, when are you playing Angela and Thor together, and when are there gonna be 2 tanks on your team? Like, Venom, probably one of the best in A tier. I don't think he's S tier. Actually, you know what? I think he is S tier. I think he's very low S tier though. I think CC could fuck him up, and if you don't do enough damage to him, then he'll just survive anything if you play him right. His E could just make him go through anything. He has alt potential with his also his alt combo with his right click. Uh, he has the anti heal, which is also really good. He's also good against tank when alting. I think his ult is actually really good, really good. So there's that. Which is why I think he's probably one of the best dives in the game. Other than that, yeah. So, fuck, move on. Winter Soldier, right here. Uh, I think he does damage. No shit. He does a lot of damage. They turned him just basically into the lethal thing, but really, like, he just turned a Moon Knight with aiming, and his E is good for like the slow and the grounded for flyers. It could get you maybe some free kills every once in a very long while. His hook is insanely good if your team plays around it. Like if you get a character in and they can't teleport away, like Fox or Loki. If you bring someone in like that, or a brawly type tank that will probably get away if your team doesn't react in time. But I think his kit is overall pretty decent, and he does a ton of damage, which could get him a lot of kills, more than Moon Knight. Wolverine, A tier, top of A, nearly S, but there's a lot more S's that I need to talk about. So he is gonna be in top of A. He has passive reduced from 105 to 90, which is crazy. He has the Cyclops team up, which turns him into a helicopter. He has the jumping canceling where he does the right click jump and then his E, so then it cancels out and he just has a big leap into the back of his back into the battlefield. So he could just be right back. He's insane against tanks, which is are also all pretty decent right now, and he's also just really good. His ult is insanely good. I hate this character. I want him to go bye bye. Anyways, moving on. Fantastic here. His E is decent. His damage is decent. The slow from his E that is gone now. I think he still has some anti-dive capabilities because uh if you're just moving around his arms, you can maybe get the diver, you could hump the diver so then it does damage and maybe pushes them away from the support, making them go away. So I think it's pretty good. Other than that, I think his shift is all that he's got left. Like his right click is good for ending people off, like a finisher move, because it's quicker than his left shift. And his ult is okay. You gotta know when to use it though. Or maybe get lucky with making them support ult, but that will probably not happen and you could die in your ult, which is insane. So that's why he's like right there. I don't think he's insane. I don't think he's really that good, but I don't know, just make him a tank already. But I don't care. I love Fantastic the way he is. If he gets buffed more, I'm fine with that. If he doesn't get changed to tank, I don't care. Invis right on top of A tier, but I don't think she's S tier at all. There's some other supports there. Um sorry. So I think she is on top of Loki for one reason. I think her kit is pretty normal. Her ult is pretty good. Um, but the one thing that just goes over the ruins is that stupid shield. Not that it self shields or it just blocks stuff like really well and that it heals over time. It's the fact that it has that 30 to 40% slow. If you're any tank and that she puts up that shield, you are going super slow and then they could just catch you when you're just like a ripe piece of steak to them when you get that. And if you're getting run down and you're like trying to go back as like Magneto or Strange, the their invis is gonna spam right click on whoever's frontlining you and trying to kill you, and then you're gonna get a slow. So then you're just 40% slower and you can't go anywhere and then you just die. And I hate that. I hate that. That just happens. You become so slow with that shield. It is irritatingly annoying. And it is like kind of crazy like how it does that. Moving on. Torch, I think nearly A tier, but I think right now he has potential to become higher. He I think is better than all of these characters because he has one shot support potential. He has great like AoE damage with his E. Great burst with his like shotgun, his primary. He has insane mobility with his shifts. He could go in or out. If someone's looking at you, you could just go out. If you want to go in with your ult, you could just double dash in and then ult, and then you get your dashes back. Ult them. Your ult is good too, and then you could just dash back out. If you're getting dangerously low, and also if you have a flake on, that's also really good because Luna is part of the meta, or Ultron, which not so much, but still good. So I think overall he is good. I think he's at like Punisher status where we were putting him in B tier like every single time. I think we were average. But then at some point he just became really good, and now he's like he needs like some type of little nerf. But I think people are like eventually gonna figure out how well he is or like how good he is with all the cooldown reductions and all the changes that he's gotten. I think he will be eventually in like the same place that Punisher is in right now, where he's like actually an S tier in some people like somehow during like one season, unless he gets buffed again, and then he'll probably be S tier. But like still, I think he's actually insanely good if played right. But I have not seen so many, but the few that I have are like really good. Thing right here. I played Thing a lot, or like I played him like a decent amount. His anti dive is amazing. He's like number one anti dive. He has good vulnerability. His percentage health is good. Like with his right click. His E is good with a damage blocked, which is also nice, especially if like a diver's coming in, you could E on your supports and then left shift so that they don't die as much. And his ult's pretty nice. Just getting stunned is pretty annoying, but other than that, that's pretty chill. I think his ult's pretty decent. Um, and also he's a beefy tank. He has nearly as much health as Dino, which is 750, and I was shocked by that. I didn't notice, but yeah, he has a good amount of health. He's a pretty like good character, I believe. Emma, right here. I think she fell off of S tier, but the diamond form is still really good. I think her beam is really good when fully charged. It is really hard to like for her to get off of that 100 charge unless you finish the fight. Other than that, like she's probably best frontliner that you have other than Groot, of course. Um Ultron. Yeah, I think I put tank supports then DPS. Okay, so yeah, Ultron C tier. Nobody uses Ultron in Grandmaster Diamond. Like, if you're thinking about triple support ever, you either go triple supports with all support alts, or if you're considering going triple support with like an actual third support, some people think of Ultron, but most people think of these three. Like these three. Nobody really thinks about Ultron, even though he was like insanely broken. Nobody thinks about him in Grandmaster. I think people think about like Jeff more, honestly. But I think Adam is really, really like I think he's the best out of the four of them. I think he's the best one because of that res and that burst heal. But it's sad, like, and he got nerfed because he was insane in pro play. But he doesn't get used in like other than like maybe low elo, you could like stomp with him, and then like this elo nobody plays him. And if like they do. I think they win. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm face against them. Um, Phoenix. Whee! Up here. Probably best DPS still. Uh, she's permaban. Actually, let me put Cyclops up there too. Let me just show it. Let me talk about Cyclops for a second. I think the only reason. Okay, I still think it's like this. I'm not like okay. So Cyclops is also good with Rocket Ult because then you could have that one shot potential. His ult is still really good, but he is OP, but I don't think he is OP enough where he does deserve. I think he does deserve a small nerf, but I don't think he is insanely broken because when Phoenix came out, it felt like, bro, this character is completely broken. I like if you play her, you get a free win. Cyclops, I feel like you do have to earn it a little bit more. And it's like it's a really good character, but it doesn't deserve to get gutted, unlike Black Cat, which we will get up to. But like it's just insane. Like and the only reason I am still putting him below Phoenix is because I don't care if she's permabanned. If she's not banned, then she will run more than Cyclops. The nerfs wasn't enough. They lowered the HP she gets off of getting the sparks off and then fall off. If you're a good Phoenix and you have good aim, then it doesn't matter. You're still gonna like 3-shot somebody in the head or do that 2-shot combo with her ult. I don't know. It's just insane how you like it's people say that like Cyclops is better because she's permabanned. Some people forget sometimes in Grandmaster. Like some people sometimes forget to ban Didi. Sometimes people forget to ban a certain like I don't know. They choose different people. They there's not. Oh, I think Phoenix has been like permaban recently, but that's why she is more permaban than Cyclops. Like people hate Cyclops too, but I think more people have like I rather ban Phoenix than Cyclops. I don't know. I feel like he's good, but not. Like the only thing really insane is that he could like kill you behind a wall with his E, which is kind of bullshit. But and also like his left shift is good, his right click is good. But other than that, there's like and he's like easy to get away. Actually, no, yeah. I was just talking myself into it. Yeah, he has like a lot of getaway tools, and he's insanely good. I guess the permaban was enough. Sorry, I don't know how flat talks like this all the time. My God, bro, my throat is so dry. Anyways, let's finish this then. Blade also does not get a lot of blame. I believe Blade is actually in a pretty decent spot right now. I think he actually deserves to be up here, but nobody's gonna play him in Grandmaster. And if you play Blade in there, most of the time people are gonna think you throw. But as I said before, if you play these characters in like the game, I don't care if you're good at this character. I believe you could get shit done, and I've seen Blades get shit done. It's not like I haven't, and it's before the buff too. But I think he's actually in a pretty decent spot. And as Flat said, how like low elo, he's probably B tier, but here he's like D tier. I think he's higher, but like he's like just like Gambit where he's permaban and we can't check out how he plays. You can't really check out how Blade plays because people are gonna think you're gonna throw. That's how like bad he's been. He's been bad since season 3, which is worse than Gambit, who has been good since season 5. That's like 4 months longer, by the way. 3 months longer. It's insane. Angela, I believe, second best tank. She has insane, like, carry potential. The buffs that she got are insane. You could do a small charge or you could do a big charge with the 4-second cooldown. You could pull up the shield up just as long as Captain America, which is a really good change because it feels a lot more fluent now than what it was before. And also with the change to the shield being 350 instead of 300, which is kind of insane because what they did was they lowered it, but then they upped the amount of like I think the amount of charge you get. Actually, no, they did nerf that too. Either way, I think they're gonna have to nerf it back down to 300 because those changes were a lot, and I think she is insanely good. Unless she gets Powercraft, but I don't know what will happen next season. Anyways, Daredevil. S tier, but I think Pun Pun clears. I think he's still like worthy permaban. Actually, yeah, up here. This is what I mean, bro. 5 DPS, insane. Yeah, that's the last of them. Okay, let's go by which ones I'm going to least talk about. Real quick. Elsa Bloodstone, probably around here. Yeah, she still has that one shot potential. Her ult is still insanely good. but she is not permabanned anymore ever since she got nerfed enough. That buff did nothing. If you do get her passive with doing damage, you need to switch because you are not getting kills, buddy. Her right click's good, her shift is good, but the 4 second instead of two is very, very bad. Like it's like it lowers her DPS by so much because she could use her elephant gun so much less because of that. It's also the fact that it's a lot harder to stay on the 3 stacks now. Either way, her kit's really decent. I think it's better than Hela. Her hit scan potential is better than Hela's. If you want to choose that character, her ult is, I think, the same amount of value as Hela, but in some maps, better because you could shoot them off the map, you know. Rogue, I think, overall is also really good. The team up is still, I know that it took like a heavy nerf, but I still think it's pretty decent. But overall, the buffs that she got were actually really good. The defensive stance, really good. I actually saw it in action when I played her. It was really good. I actually really like them, and I think now that she just moves around. She is a really pushy brawl type character, and it just ruins people's rhythm. You know, she's the type of character to just button mash and then just get like free value because you're just pushing people everywhere and you're just knocking them around. It is amazing. And then also the certain abilities that you get from like absorbing is like really good. Black Cat, she got shot in the head. Nobody wants to play her now. I still think she's pretty good. Um but it is like and also like she still has some of her one shot potentials. She just it's a lot harder. You need to like actually think about it and position right and like actually conserve your coins and the instead of spamming the right click swipe most of the time. But she could still do a lot. But sadly most people think she died. Like from ban worthy to now blade level. Kind of crazy. Oh, or at least thought what Blade level. Sorry, you know, actually, I'm gonna put Blade on top because I think he deserves higher. But actually, no. Yeah, no. Especially on Grandmaster, I think he would work a lot less. Actually, I think he's right where he belongs. Um, Dino, right behind here. Actually, right here. I think Emma, like he was really good, and I don't get why they had to nerf him that harshly. I think the impact beam knocking down flyers is appropriate. The E cooldown, like nerf from 10 to 12, I don't think that was needed. It was already really high, and that was his only source of like consuming damage without his health bar. So it's just it makes him more into like you need to be more support reliant or you're just gonna get farmed. Because also they nerfed his bleed by half, which means he does less damage, which brings in less bonus health for him, and just overall, he just survives less because he can't take that like they need to increase it back like to at least like 2%, and then also nerf it back down to 10, like buff it back to 10 seconds. I think the nerfs that they did were too far. I still think he's pretty good, but I think Emma's better because he could just get farmed like way too often, and like I don't know why people still perma ban him. I still think I think he's not ban worthy anymore. Like and even if he's not banned, I don't see him. Like no one also like knows how to deal with the newly nerfed Devil Dino because his bleed effect got too much of a hit. And it's like you can't survive without good supports. If you have an Atom and like an Invis, you ain't surviving shit. Like you might need actually triple support if you like want this guy to survive. like potentially if you're not good enough on support, you might need triple support, and definitely not like Ultron type. You're gonna need like Loki, Rocket, or some shit. White Fox, I think, is a really amazing support. Her right click gives health, damage, stun, and bring forth to end to teammates, which just brings in free damage, and also stops all. That's one ability. Her shift teleports away from danger and gives a shield, which also gives a burst of healing with a passive healing of 20. Her E is good against anti-dive, which also heals 90 per second if hitting a target, and could push someone around if done right. And then her alt is not the best support ult, but it's a support ult that I am willing to take. It's sad that it can be killed, but that does make sense. I think other than that, it would be OP because it does a lot of like it does a good amount of damage while also doing a decent amount of healing. So it's like in the middle. That's why I think she could work in duo support and triple support because she has a good enough ult for it to be enough healing, but also do enough damage where it isn't just another healer ult, which is why I think she's actually could work in duo support and then work better in triple. But yeah, I think she's like third best. Now Gambit. Now the reason why I put Rocket over Gambit is for multiple reasons. One is not the permaban. I think he's less permaban actually. Ever since Flat said, let's try him out and see how he feels. But we don't get to do that. But I think more like I've seen him like more in ban, but like Rocket is one easier to just play. If you're going from duelist to support, who are you gonna play? The complex support hero that you've basically never seen since season 5, so you never know his kit, or Rocket, who you could do damage on if somebody gets close, dash or get away, heal with right click, place a beacon down somewhere, and just alt somewhere, and then you get free damage boost, which also helps Venom, Cyclops, Phoenix, Groot, Star Lord, Punisher. It helps so many alts with that. Gambit, it does help also Punisher and Phoenix. I don't know about Cyclops because we haven't really gonna try it out. Venom probably, but one is getting everyone in your alt radius. Potentially not everyone is your alt radius. When to use your alt with Gambit. The only problem with Gambit and his alt is that most people use it as a defensive support alt. When you're going against an alt, you Luna alts, right? So then your cloak alts back. So then they clash. But then if Gambit alts over Luna, one, you're not getting as much healing as a Luna ult. Two, you basically just wasted like a very good offensive ult. You're supposed to push in, not just stand back. Another thing, if the Gambit's a dumb fuck, he wastes his dashes, so then he can't get away, or during alt, he pushes in too far into the enemy team and he just dies. And then the whole support ult ends quickly without knowing, and then you get punished by it because your Gambit dies, and then also that means you have one less support because he just ran in there because he thought he was invincible still. Another thing, or they could just target Gambit, but you can do that for any support. But he is a lot easier because this ult doesn't heal as much as Rocket or Luna or Invis or Cloak. So you could actually target Gambit. Yeah, he moves around a lot, but so does a lot of other characters. And also, Dive is still prevalent. I don't know what people are saying that Dive isn't prevalent. Angela is one of the best tanks in the game, and she's Dive. Venom is one of the best games, and he's Dive. Uh, Daredevil is still one of the best, and he's dive. Star Lord is one of like basically a dive character. DPS Luna is basically meant to be played as a dive. You go into the back and then you start shooting people. Legit. Cap, technically the best hero. Dive. Either way, so Gambit dies, and then you have nothing. Rocket, it's a lot harder to destroy. Like I think people have destroyed his ult less somehow, and also you get that free revive, and he's a lot easier to use. You get his ult every fight, by the way, every fight, and if you fight it against another support ult, you are guaranteed to get more value than you would with Gambit, and you could kill probably someone better in a rocket ult to kill someone in like a cloak ult than you would in a Gambit going into a thing, because the whole point of Gambit's ult is that you jump in and you move around, so you're sporadic and that you don't get caught. But if you're all trying to focus on one like person, you're gonna get caught because you're gonna be starting to stand still and getting close to the person so you can deal enough damage. Plus, they could get away. At least with Rocket, he has a 40% damage boost compared to the 25% or 20. I don't know. I think it was 20, 25 that Gambit has, which is insanely more, and has a basically support ult. So you are dishing out more damage for your duelist, which also will get more support ult as well, even though Gambit has ult acceleration. But I still think Rocket is better than Gambit. And also, even though he's getting banned more now, I still think I still think Rocket is better than Gambit. And also, like the one thing is that Rocket ult gets destroyed, but that's really it. That's it. There's nothing else to it. But like I think I would rather depend on a rocket ult than a gambit ult. Also, if gambit's open, someone like has to play him, but then they're like half decent. Like, what if the person wants to play White Fox and they're really good at White Fox, but then you tell them to go play gambit. They're half decent. They do bad ults. They use bad util. I'd rather have a good White Fox or a good rocket than a decent gambit who doesn't know what they're doing. And also, Gambit gets his ult every other fight. I've done it before because his ult takes so long to get, and compared to Rocket's spam healing, it takes longer, so you get it every other fight. Compared to Rocket getting it every fight, bro, it is crazy how fast Rocket gets his ult. Which means you just get more value out of his ult than you would with a Gambit. If you have a good one, that's a different story. But this is Grandmaster Diamond. You're like, I'm not sure. You wouldn't really like depend on a Gambit, or like you use Gambit ult in another support against an enemy support ult. Like, you're not doing that, and like people still make the mistakes of double support ulting. So then you just wasted two. About right. Like, at least if I was Luna and then there was a cloak that ulted, then I could at least go into a damage boost scenario, so then they could dish out more damage and maybe finish off the fight. So my ult isn't a complete waste. Gambit, I guess you could kind of do that, but with like White Fox, you can't. I'm honestly not really sure. The whole point of Gambit's always like pushing and you jump around, so then you do that. But if you're going against another support ult, you can't do that. You have to play defensively against the other support ult. Because also it lasts longer. They're still gonna have a support ult for 3 seconds, while your Gambit ult doesn't heal enough to compare to the cloak ult and dish out enough damage to kill that cloak. So that means your thing will be finished by the time her cloak ult will still have 3 seconds left. Or if it's Luna, then fine. It's still the same time, but still, you're gonna waste a Gambit ult. I've like, use your other support ult. But Gambits usually make this mistake. Okay, this is the perfect time to go in. Perfect time to go in is usually when you have your ult and they don't ult back. That's the only time. Now, Deadpool. Problem with Deadpool is that I only have one. So we're gonna go into each section. Tank pool first. Duelist pool second. Heal pool third. Okay, and then I'll give like a 10-second to look at it. So tank pool is right around here. I think tank pool is right around here. Actually, this is tank pool right here. and support pool right here. Support pool. Because one, he did get buffed, and I think they're like his AoE heal is pretty good. He gets his ult the fastest. His right click is really good for healing potential. And if he has really good aim, then you're constantly getting healed. I think he's a really decent character. He's really good in triple support, but I think like in general, like maybe he's even in the same spot as Tank Pool. Like maybe he's better than Adam. I think. But probably actually like yeah, probably like right here cuz people think that like you're throwing or like right here cuz people think he's bad, but I think he's actually pretty good. I think he's just like another like healing farmer like Jeff, but he has a better ult and he has better utility wise to burst out more heals and to survive. Like you could survive with hide and seek on Jeff and also bubbles. But here you have the AoE heal and the right click heal to also save your things in Jeff. You also have your swords against anti dive against dive, so you could do that. But like other than that, I don't really know. But tank pool's here. When I say a tank pool, I'm always like, oh, do I really want this on my team? Like, is this really good? Like, his bubble's decent. He's just, like, overall mid. There's nothing great about him. There's nothing that stands out compared to, like, at least the other two. I know if I get a support pool, like, even in duo support, I think he could work out. Tank pool, I'm always, like, sketch because I don't know if they're gonna do something or anything at all. So, it's one or the other. And then here's duelist pool. I think at like this is a kind of a hot take, but I think he's gotten up to a point where he is getting like better or like more known to players to where yeah, you have to upgrade him, but he as long as you have like one of the three, the dash, the swords, or I don't know. I think it was like the swords, the E, or the right click. If you have one of those, then you're basically fine because you have the infinite dashes. If you have the right click on the swords. And then after that, it's just you level up, and you also get your support. You also get your ult fast. And when people like learn how to play his style, he's impossible to dodge and go against, and impossible to hit. You cannot hit this guy when he's jumping you, and he could just finish you off so quickly. If you know how to play this character, you could go insane on him. I think he has like I think around about the same skill ceiling or like right under Spider-Man. I think right under because once you understand his playstyle, you understand his playstyle. Spider-Man, there's still more to it. There's combos, there's multiple combos, there's what you could do with it, do this, do that. Deadpool is once you figured it out, once you get used to dashing and jumping on somebody's head and pressing E all your abilities, you basically just button mash everything and then just go on a person's head and start jumping on them, then you're gonna get a kill. Like he's insanely good. But I think the only thing holding him down is like how to learn him. But yeah, that's really it. Here's a tank pool and here's support pool if you're wondering. Just real quick. But this is the end of it. I hope you guys enjoyed my opinion based Grandmaster to Diamond tier list for 8.5 even though it's really late. It is different than what most people have, but that's because I'm not going based off of pro play or eternity or one above all. I'm trying to go based off of like my elo wise. I think if it was gold plat, then it would be different. I think Celestial is also different than Eternity and Grandmaster, so that could be an entirely different tier list because it's kind of in the middle of like I'm Grandmaster and I'm like one of the best players. It's between those two, you know? So, yeah. But if you watch till the end and you're wondering what the hell happened, then you got to go back I explained why Rocket is better than Gambit. I explained why I have uh friggin' Captain America down here. Kind of. I think these two are just better dives. And I also explained at the beginning why this whole thing looks like this. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed and hope you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Bye. Oh, wait. Also follow me on Twitch and TikTok.